The NOVUS series from Kawai is one of the most popular hybrid lines available on the market. Today we're looking at the brand new NV5S. We're very excited to play it. It's the second addition to a very popular NV5. We're going to look at what's different, what's new, and we're really excited to hear how it sounds.
Hi, this is Ted with Alamo Music Center in downtown San Antonio, Texas.
And I'm Patrick Marr. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channels, check out our other videos, sign up for notifications, like our videos, leave us comments. We really appreciate your support and we love to interact with you. Ted, the NV5S.
I think it's the digital piano to end all digital pianos.
Well, it's interesting because it comes so quickly after the NV5 release. And it's part of a two-line release. So the NV5 and the NV10, which is the NOVUS line from Kawai, both kind of got enhancement features because they're very popular, very sought-after instruments on the hybrid train that has become a solution to digital and acoustic. And we'll talk about hybrid technology here in a few minutes, but the NV5S really just has a couple new features over the previous generation. The NV10 does get a couple more, and we'll go over those once we have the NV10 here at the store. But we've been really excited about getting the NV5. And so really some of the features that are new to it are going to be the new app that works in connection with it. That's going to be the piano remote app. Really a cool piece of technology, and we've highlighted that in the new ATX as well. So the GL10 ATX4, I think we've done a video on that one. That app is just very useful. It kind of expands the technology that you've seen in the cheek blocks of Kawai Digitals for about a year and a half now. Kind of takes that and puts it on your phone. So it has that capability. It also has an updated user interface on the cheek block. So they kind of just did a refresher on it and made it consistent through the line from the CA79, the CA99, and now on the NV5. But those are technical details. Let's talk about hybrid technology. And Ted, I know you've had the experience to play this for a couple days. We just got it delivered
last week. I think
and so what are your initial impressions on it?
Well, I just absolutely love it. The reason why is it has a real working piano action in it, the Millennium III action. It's got the carbon fiber and stuff, and they have the weighted hammers. What I do like about it is they actually built a damper mechanism with it. And most digital pianos, they don't. They just leave that up to the electronics, but they physically put the attachment of the damper pads.
And so it goes all the way behind the action, and it's connected, so you feel like the weight, the pads, everything is built in there to make it exactly like a real piano. It is exactly
like a real piano, and when you look at it, one of the first things that got really excited about it is that the whole instrument is in a box, like an upright acoustic piano, or like a guitar, and all pianos, they have a box. That's the sound resonator, and they actually built this one, and it reminds me of some, like the Yamaha line. They actually have a box. However, what I love about this is they went a step farther and they put a soundboard in it. It's got, even though the speakers are mounted up there, and they call it their speaker soundboard system, or
twin drive
speaker system, twin drive. And I guess if there's anything about it that stands out is that is not really a positive, okay? And it's not really a negative either. But I noticed in the bass section, the bass is more overpowering than it is on a regular acoustic piano. Okay. And it's better, it's pure. I like it because it feels like it's a piano that has that. But the bass can be a little bit too loud at times. Other than that, I think it's an excellent, excellent piano. It's an acoustic instrument that makes sound digitally.
Yeah, and so hybrid technology is not a new thing. It's been something that for the last couple of years, manufacturers have struggled, I think, to grasp how to market it, what they're trying to obtain. It's been complicated, and it's interesting to see now, a couple years later, with technology really kind of matching demand, there's a lot of really cool features that you get in a hybrid instrument. And so they have, one side of it is the acoustic hybrids, you know, a fully acoustic piano that has digital enhancements. And so I'm thinking of like the GL10 ATX4.
The current models, those are phenomenal instruments.
And then, and like the silent instruments that have been around for a long time.
That's where the hybrid started. They started with the silent instruments. The first silent instruments that came out, I mean, people were just fascinated that you could stop the hammers from hitting the strings and still be able to practice and use the piano and hear a great sound inside.
Yeah, and
I say great sound. The first one I think was an 8-bit sample or something like that.
I've heard some of them, but yeah, it was on like they had it on Yamaha Grands and uprights, and you were able to basically put in headphones.
At least you could practice. You know, that's the important thing. At least you could practice. And you know, a house that has infants or toddlers in it, or little kids, or if you live next door to some place where you can't really pound at it on your free time. It's really nice. And that was the beginning of, they should have a digital piano that plays like a real piano.
Yeah, and so the closer technology got, and they're like, okay, well, we need weighted hammers, we need graded weighted hammers, we need a simulated action in there. And really it was like, well, how do we just take this to the next step? And really there's no compromise for an acoustic action. And I think manufacturers realized that at a certain point. And they were trying to figure out, well, how do we put an acoustic action in a digital? And then hybrids started coming out.
What good is a real acoustic piano action, whether it's grand piano or upright, if it cannot trigger the sound card or the sound module properly? So the biggest thing that works with this hybrid piano, and when they really went into overdrive in terms of production, was the incorporation of the LED sensor light.
Yeah,
so
the optical.
The optical sensor, so that they can tell exactly how fast and with how much, not just speed, but force is behind that hammer. And they catch it as it's going forward, so it knows when it hits how to trigger.
Yeah, because on a piano, you can really kind of dynamically range how hard you're hitting it, how soft you're hitting it. When you're trying to voice out passages, it's super important to catch every nuance.
This plays like a real piano. It is a digital when you play on it, but it is the first true digital piano that responds like a real piano. All your trills, the different gradients of how hard and soft you hit, as well as the pedals. It's got all 3 pedals in there.
Well, you were talking about the bass is almost overpowering, but you think about it, if it was an upright, it would have to be how tall for it to have that bass string?
That, but also it could be that I have a tendency, like most people, that when you're really getting into it, you want to turn the volume up. There is a point to where this thing is designed to sound good throughout the whole room or the whole hall. If you're just sitting at it in a small room and you have it up at that volume level, yeah, you're going to feel that overpowering bass. And a lot of those, the sound systems have it where the bass is always designed for your volume level. And so, yeah, if you're just sitting at it, you need to turn the volume down to about 60, somewhere between 60 to 65% is about what it would really be like.
On an acoustic this size.
Yeah, and if you had a bunch of people in a room, you just turn it up and you'll never notice that extra power. But, you know, when I was playing it,
135 watts of power.
Great
so
Onkyo sound system. They, the power system they put in there, and they split out the speakers. They have the speakers that are on the soundboard speaker system, and then they have these larger size domes with the tweeter speakers.
Yeah, so the transducer on the soundboard too is really resonating that piece. So when you really feel the whole thing moving like an acoustic instrument, you get it all the way through the pedal. You know,
that was the other thing I was going to mention. You feel the piano in the pedals, and everyone that's played it, because I had people, even though they're looking for something else, hey, sit down and play this piano. They sit down, wow, I feel it. I mean, everywhere.
It's hard to realize that there's no acoustic piano strings in here, and it really kind of just sounds incredible. It has great warmth, and so we're going to listen to it here in a second and kind of play through some of the sounds. The electric pianos are going to be really fun to listen to coming through that soundboard. We're going to listen to the electric pianos. We're going to listen to the regular pianos, and then some of the sound systems. There's about 100 sounds on this. We're not going to go through all of them today, but we'll go through the main piano ones and some of the supplemental sounds as well. Let's take a listen.
Again, Patrick, I tried to play the same thing from the different sounds, and I just really kind of skimmed the surface on some of the sounds because I don't want to be partial, but when you listen to that Shigeru Kawai grand piano, it's like, why get another sample? I mean, maybe a song has a smaller sound than piano in it, and normally I run through all the sounds. This one I didn't, but I really enjoyed the organ sounds in here. They're really cool. The organ sounds are cool, and the electric pianos are awesome. And I did not touch anything on the Virtual Technician because as we got around to talking, the Virtual Technician has 21 different parameters that are acoustic piano settings, whether it's from a tech, a tuning, or any kind of sound that it makes. And so we're going to have to shoot a whole separate video because what I want to do is take all of the Virtual Technician parameters that you can access either using the app or the cheek block on this instrument and go through there and demonstrate the sound that you can increase or decrease off of a true acoustic grand piano so that when you get here you'll know exactly what is this the sound of. And just as a quick example, I guess a kind of a teaser enticement is the first time I recorded my solo album, I got a phenomenal recording engineer to come in and do it. It was the first time he ever recorded a solo piano. And he kept saying, I'm getting this noise, man. Every time you're playing, before we start recording, I keep getting this. And I said, oh, that's the sound. I said, is it this? And I brought him over and I just pumped the damper pedal a little bit.
Oh, and all the straight.
Yeah, what is that? Like he wanted to go in and just like cut it on, I said, that's part of the instrument. Now when it's playing, it's normal. You hear that on all classical piano, a lot of new age pianos. That's a sound that if they pull it out, it makes it sound digital if your piano's really great. So leave it in there so it sounds like a real piano. Yeah. That's one of the things you can adjust.
And yeah, so we'll highlight the Virtual Technician in another video to kind of see what the app can do and how much versatility you can get from one sound. So the SK-EX rendering that's in the NV5, it's in the CA99, it's in the CA79 from Kawai. It's one of the most versatile sound engines there is. And you can go through presets, and we've highlighted some of those in some of our videos. You can go through the presets and hear some of the renderings, but really once you take those 21 parameters and start going through and making the piano your own, you're transforming the modeling. Yeah, the modeling of this instrument. So they take a sampling of the 9-foot piano, they bring it in here, and then you can really kind of start making your own. So it's a lot of fun. It makes it just like feel like your own instrument.
They actually have one of the first parameters is the touch curve, which really allows you to go in through the software and make adjustment changes to your action and how much key dip and where you really want the hammer to hit. It's really fascinating because you can now do digitally what would take a technician hours to redo. And that's not even talking about the tunings differences.
Oh yeah, no, it's
so there's so many things.
It's super diverse, very cool thing. So we will highlight that. But for the NV5S, just some huge benefits. It's lighter weight than an acoustic instrument. It's about 250 pounds, so it's not the lightest instrument that you can buy, but two people can definitely pick it up and move it around. Maybe with the help of a dolly, it'd be way easier, but you're able to pick it up, move it around. It's not gonna go out of tune. There's no strings in this instrument, but the action will play exactly like an acoustic instrument. So you get the benefits, a lot of the benefits of having an acoustic instrument, especially with the soundboard in the back. That twin drive, we'll show some pictures of that, but you have a full piece of spruce in the back that's helping you, or helping resonate the instrument, and you get that full acoustic sound that you would off of an acoustic instrument. Very small profile. I know it looks almost as big as an acoustic instrument, but much more narrow than an acoustic piano upright, much lighter, not as tall of a profile. Just really cool benefits to having something like this, full wood keys, that Millennium 3 action, but really just not a lot of negatives about. It is a digitally rendered sound, but there's benefits to that. And like we were talking about with the virtual technician, you can kind of make it your own. And I would say Kawai, if you do a little research online, Kawai has one of the best sounding digital instruments that there is, and some will say the best, and it's definitive for them. On this channel we've done a couple different videos highlighting some of the other great samples and sounds, but Kawai definitely is in our top sounds engines that are available, especially with that SK-EX rendering. The other sounds on this are going to have the HIXL, the harmonic imaging sample and modeling sound system. So that's for the other 90 sounds. You can do some recording on this. You can do just some really cool stuff like hook up your phone, audio, Bluetooth, MIDI, Bluetooth, control the whole app.
Drum beats instead of a metronome, or a metronome if you want that.
So really just kind of incredible access to a lot of features, very rich in depth, and so really just a home run from Kawai. Not a whole bunch of upgrades from the previous one, but the previous one, the NV5, had just come out in 2020. They just kind of, with the release of the NV10, did a user interface update, like we had mentioned, and connectivity to their new application, the Piano Remote app from Kawai. Really an incredible instrument. Probably the best hybrid that's on the market right now. It is the newest release that I know of, but I would probably endorse it as the best upright hybrid that you can buy. Just incredible instrument. Very hard to get as well. This one we had asked the customer, but this one is already previously sold to somebody, and we're waiting for our next shipment of them. So they're selling faster than we can get them. So
I'm glad he was patient.
Yeah, no, it's an incredible instrument. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions about the NV5S, if you've had a chance to play the predecessor or the new ones, please leave comments. I know a lot of people are interested in how it's being received, and just have heard great things about it. But please leave some comments about your interpretation of your experience playing it, or maybe you own it and you love it. Maybe there's something you'd want to change on it. We've heard nothing but great things about it. NV5S from Kawai, part of the NOVUS line. Ted Barsalou, I'm Patrick. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, please head over to alamomusic.com. We have a chat agent available who hopefully can answer any and all of your questions. Thanks for watching.